Hello guys, the app that we'll be using to create our Android application is called Sketchware. So open your Play Store and install Sketchware. I already have Sketchware installed on my device, so if you don't have Sketchware installed in your device, you need to click the install button and it will be installed and ready to launch. So basically that is the app you are going to be using to. Hello guys, welcome to this lesson, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to use edit text view and buttons. So all you have to do is launch Sketchware and create a new project like I just did, and we'll be using layouts to create our app UI. So you need to drag and drop the horizontal linear layout, and then first you need to drag and drop the vertical linear layout. Then we need to place 3 horizontal linear layouts that will hold our widgets, which are the text view, edit text, and button. So we are going to centralize the button by setting the gravity of the layouts of the horizontal layout, which contains the button widget, to center horizontal and center vertical. So basically what gravity does is that it centralizes any object or anything that is placed in the layout it brings it to the center. So Sketchware has a lot of design options, and it's very easy to implement. You can always play around with these design options, and it will help you build a better UI and stuff. So basically what we are trying to achieve in this lesson is to impute a text in the text view, in the edit text, and it gets printed on the text view when button is clicked. So basically what I'm doing right now is that I'm trying to design the UI so we can be able to interact with the application. So like I said, Sketchware has a lot of design options you can actually design from. You can easily set the color of the button, color of the text, the height of the text, and there's this simple user flow hint that I would like to share with you. The standard size for height of buttons on Android app development is 44 dp. So basically that is almost it for the design. So we are in the logic area. So all you have to do is click on the button, and on the event you have to place a text. So we place a view with the text set text. So basically what we are trying to achieve is that when a text is imputed in the edit text and button is clicked, it gets printed on the text view, just as you can see. So let's save our project and run. And one more thing guys, if you are installing an app with Sketchware for the very first time, you need to allow Sketchware to install applications on your device. So you just need to give it some permission. So let's say hello world and button click, and then you see it get printed on the text view. Now let's say welcome and button clicked. Welcome back guys. So in this lesson we are going to do a very simple thing to configure our app, to give our app a custom package name and icon. So doing this with Sketchware is really very simple compared to when you are doing it with code. So basically what you are going to do is simply click the drop down on your project and then click settings, project settings, and then you set the package name of your application. And package name is very unique to Android applications, is what makes your application different from every other applications. A lot of applications can actually have the same name but not the same package name. So it's good you set a unique package name for your Android application, so when you upload it on Play Store you not have any issues. So to add an icon is actually very easy. All you have to do is click on the icon and you need to select your icon from your gallery. So I have an icon I created with LogoPit. You can use LogoPit to create your icons. LogoPit is free to use. You can use it to click create awesome icons. And I use LogoPit to create a lot of my Android app icons. I can't find my okay here it is. So basically that is it. Is very easy. Just click on the drop down and then you click on the settings, and then you are setting your app, you are configuring your app, you are giving it a standard design, you are giving it a standard icon and package name. Hello guys, welcome back. So in this course we are going to learn how to use Spinner. So to use Spinner is actually very easy because you need Spinner if you are creating an application that has to do with category, that has to do with data sorting. For example, you are sorting some data from database, or you are sorting from data stored in your that your app already stored. So you need to use Spinner. Spinner is like drop down. You can use it to create drop down menu. So basically it's very easy. We need to create a list of strings, or a list string. So let's call it spin list. And then you need to add, then we need to add strings to this spinner we created. So to add string, we need to add a list of these strings, and then we are going to push it to the list. So after pushing it to the list, we need to set it to spinner. So let's say first we added home, then services. Let's say contact, about then we need to add these items, these strings, to the list that we just created, which is the spin list. Then we need to push it to the spinner using view, then set. Okay, now there it is. So we need to push this data to the spinner. So we need to set it to the spin list. Yes. So we need to, after pushing the data to spinner, we need to refresh it so that every time the user clicks on the drop down and then closes it, it gets refreshed and then it closes again and stuff like that. So basically that is it, guys. So let's give this spinner, let's configure the spinner, give it a little design. Let's save it. Okay. So So let's save it and see how it works. Then we can give it a little design, or maybe probably set the color white. So let's install it. See, okay, open. Okay, now you see we have a spinner. Then the items get added in the spinner because we set the spinner to drop down. So let's give it a color. Let's set the background color. Let's see, to make it a little bit differentiated from the background. So let's see white. Okay, now we are going to set the spinner, instead of drop down, let's make it dialog so you can see the difference. So let's give it a color white, or white. So let's save the project and let's run. So guys, okay, now it's installed, and let's open it. Then you can see the Hello guys, welcome back. And in this lesson we are going to learn how to use list view. So basically you can use list view to import multiple data from data stored. For example, if you are trying to import data that is saved by user on your to a particular page, so you need to use list view to allow users add this data. So basically what we are going to do is we are going to add a map, a list. Let's say, call it my list, and then we are going to add items to this list. So let's see. So you can use list view to get data from database. Let's say you are creating an application that uses that you are updating using database for users to actually check something, or probably an ebook where user read books, and then you need to update it regularly through database. You can use list view. List view is very important. Most people use list view in their applications, and most applications actually has list view, and it's very, very simple to implement. Just like so basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to add items that we are going to place on this list view that we created. So we are going to push these items to a list. Then after pushing it to the list, we have to add it to our list which we already added. So we need to list view set so basically this again. So after adding the items to your list, you need to set it to the list view which we actually added. So we remember we need to refresh data. So the object, the list doesn't give error when the users interact with the list. So basically it's very easy. Basically there is less. So our application, and then let's run and open. So this is really very easy to use. So if you can actually set this, you can actually give each of this list a page. It's very easy to implement. Hello guys, welcome back to this video course. So today I'm going to teach you how to create a splash screen or welcome screen for your Android application. So for this we're going to create another activity and we're going to name it home. So we are going to use the main screen as a splash screen activity, so that because if we are using the home screen as the main splash screen activity, it gets started immediately our app is launched. So let's implement that. So for this we are just going to give it a very empty, the main screen activity we are going to make it very empty, so that when it loads it just shows a simple screen that's with our logo and stuff, and we can add some text also. So we're going to do this. And then we added two horizontal linear views, one to hold our logo and some text, and the other one to show progress bar. Yeah. And it's actually very easy. So all we have to do is just using Sketchware to build another application is really very easy. All you have to do is just some drag and drop, and then you are building our application. So now we are going to add the logo image we are going to be using in our splash screen. So let's use the logo image I actually use as the image I actually use as logo for the image icon I actually use for the app. So we're going to implement that. We're going to set the image, and then we're going to scale. Now we're going to give the width first 100, and then height 100, and now we have to scale this. We have to scale this image to fit SY, so it will automatically fit the screen, fit the space, fit the default width and height that we actually give it. And we're going to add the progress bar. So we are going to remove padding to 0, and going to give it a height of, let's say, 40. Yeah. And sorry, width of 40 and height of 40. So we're going to centralize this. Gravity vertical. So basically that is it for our logic now. So we're going to go to the logic part right now, and then we are going to create some what happens on activity create. So we're going to add some components like timer and intent component. We're going to add timer component. So what we try to achieve is that after
after some time, after about 350 milliseconds, the the our the it sh- the next activity should automatically load. So we are going to set the logic here on activity create. So we want to add a little style to our design. So on activity create, we want to make the progress bar invisible. So we are going to set it as gone. Then timer. Then we're going to give it after 100 or after 2000 milliseconds. The timer should be visible. The progress bar, sorry, should be visible. Then after, we're going to use another timer here. Like it's a simple logic. After under after 350, that is the total time. So after 200 milliseconds, we should have the progress bar visible. Then after 150 milliseconds, we should have the we should switch to the next activity. So we're going to use intent to launch the next activity. So we're going to set the flag. So that is it. Okay, so intent. Home activity. So after 350 milliseconds, home activity, then we are going to say intent flag, search flag, clear top, then intent. So basically that is it, guys. That is it on how to create splash screen. It's really very easy. So let's check our application. And then let's open our application. And then after 200 milliseconds, here is the pro. But we have to do edit the settings so that so that it is differentiate. And then we don't want the the logo to shift up or down, so we are going to give this the linear containing the progress bar. We're going to give it a particular height, so it doesn't have to adjust our our icon. Hello guys, so in this course we are going to learn how to pass data between two activities. We are taking it step by step and we are going a little bit advanced. So passing data between two activities is really very simple. So we have our home activity, and then we are going to add another activity. So this is our home activity and we are going to add another activity. Let's call it let's So let's call our new activity let's say screen 1. So you can name it anything, so that it's just for practice. So we have our two activities, the home activity and screen 1 activity.sml. So what we want is that when a user inputs something on the screen 1, then we can actually bring that activity to that item that the user inputed to the other screen. So let's say, for example, you are creating an Android application that has to store user profile and user details. Then you want to pass it from one activity to the other, or you are creating an Android application that has to save user data for later use when they come back with your application to use your application. They don't need to enter the data all over again. So basically it's very simple. That's what I'm going to show you how to do right now. So like I said, we are using simple UI design. I'm using simple UI design for this lesson. So we are going to add margin. What margin does is that it adds a space outside the layout or widget, depending on whatever you are adding the margin to. So with test view. So let's say, for example, we are creating two test view that stores user email. So let's give it a height 40 and a width match parent, and then we're going to give it a background color white. Background color white. Then we're going to give it a gravity. A gravity center vertical. So what center vertical does is that it brings makes the position of whatever that is inside the widget centrally vertical. But I don't know how to put that, but it's very simple. So we're going to give it center vertical, and we're going to add a button. Now we're going to add a button. We are going to centralize the button using center vertical and center horizontal, and we are going to give this button let's give it a test. Click. Okay, subscribe. Sorry. Subscribe. So test size, and I'm going to give it a test color. Test color white. Then we're going to give it a background color light blue to complement with the color. So I'm going to give it a height 40 dp. So So we're going to get a hint. I'm going to set hint. Okay, yeah. So we're going to get a hint. You can enter. Yeah, enter username. Yes. So we're going to basically create a simple application that when a user enters their username and their email address and then they click subscribe, the data get printed on the other screen. The data gets saved and is passed to the other activity that we created earlier, which is the screen 1 activity. Yes. So yes, perfect. So now we need to add a component. Okay, so yeah. Need to make sure we give it a text input size to 14. So that is it. So we need to add a component. So now we need to add a component shared preference. And basically what shared preference is used is that shared preference is basically used to pass activities, or rather to save data in your Android application, so the data don't get deleted as long as your Android application data isn't cleared by user, or your Android application is not uninstalled. So we are going to add an intent. So we are going to push this. We are going to save the info we actually get from users, which is the username and email when the button is clicked. And also we are also going to be using so we are also going to be using the if statement. So we are going to sorry, we need to add that on button clicked events. Yeah, so we need to add it on button clicked events because we are actually going to implement this when the button is clicked. So we are going to save the data to the shared preference. So we are going to save the data, then the key we are going to give it user name, and then the second key we are going to give it email. So what these keys does is that they are going to hold the username info and the username info and the email info. So we are going to set the data of the value of these keys to edit text 1 for the username. The user imputed his username on the edit text 1, so that is it. The user imputes his username on edit text 1, and then edit text 2 is where the user imputes his email address. So we need to save it. So basically that is it, guys. We have saved the username and the email address using this shared preference. So we are going to start the second screen activity on button clicked, and then we are going to finish the activity. So we are using intents. Then we are going to set the screen 2 activity when the button clicked up. And we're going to be intent 1. Yes. So basically that is it. And then in the screen 2, we need to also add the shared preference with the same name. With the same name. So we need to add the shared preference, because if you don't add the same name, our application will not be able to read from the shared preference. So the shared preference on the first screen or the initial screen need to be the same need to have the same name with the shared preference on the second screen. So it's like that if you are also using it on multiple screen, let's say more than 2, and you are saving a particular data, you have to use the same shared preference name to read from that data, as long as the shared preference has a key. It's only that key it will read from. So I'm going to give it a text color white. Text color, so let's So we are trying to get the data that we inputted in the initial screen on the second screen. So we need to print this data on these test views that we just added. So we print it on activity create. So what activity create does is that immediately the activity is created, or immediately this particular screen is launched or is started, this is the first command that actually run. So the first test is edit test view 1, and the second one is test view 2. So we are printing the username on the test view 1 and the email on the test view 2. So we need to get shared preference data. So that's it. So we select the shared preference, which is the SP, which is the same as the one we created initially in the other screen. So we need to set the key we are getting the value from, which is username and email. Yes. So basically that is it, guys. That is it. Let's save our project and let's run it. Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video course, I'm going to show you how to create pop-up message or dialog messages. So it's very easy to implement using Sketchware. So to implement that, we'll be using a component on the dialog component in Sketchware. So let's go ahead and just design our dummy UI, and then we are going to implement this. It's actually very easy. So let's go ahead and do a little. So basically, if the pop-up message, you can use it to show to show warning notification. You can use it to show simple notification, notify users of anything. So on the component, we are going to add the dialog component called dialog. So we are going to so we have to implement this on button clicked, and also on activity create. We can just implement it on activity create. So when the user actually, you can actually use this to create some log, some update log for your application, to notify users of new updates in your application, or stuff like welcome that actually can only show once. And also you can actually use it to also create a pop-up message that actually shows if a user wants to exit your application and stuff. So basically we are going to show dialog on two places, like that is on create and also on button clicked. Thank you for downloading this app. So that's it. Then we're going to have a button, OK button. Okay. So basically that is it. So we're going to have another button. Yeah, on button click events, on button clicked. So we are going to equally add another dialog here also. So here we're going to have two button on the dialog, OK button, and then the cancel button. So, wait. Wait us. Yeah. So we're going to toss a message. Yes. Let's toss a message when the yes button is clicked, and also when the no button is clicked. So we can actually differentiate. Yes clicked. No clicked. So basically that is it, guys. So let's save our project and let's run it. One more thing, you should never forget to you should don't forget to show the the don't forget to show the dialog at the end of your dialog logic. Then let's open our application, and then it shows the welcome, then click OK, and then on button clicked shows the waiters. So basically that is it, guys. Hello, welcome back, guys. So today we are going to learn how to create text to speech. So we want to create an application or a simple application, or let's say for example you are creating an application that has to interpret what a user inputs into a text, basically used for test, or you are trying to create a simple text to speech application. So it's very easy to implement in Sketchware, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So first of all, let's create our dummy UI for test UI and stuff. So we can actually the so what we want to achieve right here now is we want when a user inputs some text on the edit text, then clicks a button, then it reads the text. So let's create. So let's give this text the text. So this is very actually creating stuffs on designing stuffs on your Android application using Sketchware is actually very easy. If you're already an Android app developer, you actually use Android Studio, you can equally just create your UI here and export it, and probably and use the UI for your Android application you are building on Android Studio, because creating UI on Sketchware is equally very easy to do. It's very easy, yeah. So we are going to do this, and it's very fast also. So Sketchware.speak. Yeah. So the background color blue. Yes. So that is it for our UI. Think. So let's go to the logic, and then we need to add the text to speech component. Text to speech component. So now we're going to add the button click and create. So this is simple logic that actually get called on event create. So we're going to set the pitch of our text of this pitch to 1, and then we're going to set the speech rate also. So we're going to on button clicked. Yeah. So on button clicked, we are going to read the text on the edit text. We are going to get the text. Yes. So basically that is it. Let's save our project and let's run our project. Let's open our project.
Hello, world.
Let's say hello. So our test switch is actually working. Let's try another text. Let's do. So it's a hello, welcome. My name. Hello, welcome. My name.
Hello, welcome, my name is John.
Hello guys, welcome back guys. So in this video course I'm going to show you how to check for internet connection in your application. So if you are using a web view, so if you don't want the default web view to show, you can actually check for the internet connection, and when there is no internet connection you can show a custom message instead of your app to to show the normal web view error. So basically it's very easy to actually do. So to do that we actually need to impute the web view. Yeah, so we are using web view for this. So we are going to use network request component also to check for internet connection. So into other internet connection. So we need to add something that a website that actually gets loaded when on the activity create, that we need to add a website that will get loaded when our web view on the activity created and our web view on our web view, sorry. So let's say Facebook slash facebook.com, facebook google.com. Okay, let's go with google.com, and then so basically what we want to achieve right now is we want to check for internet connection on our splash screen. So if there is no internet connection, the main page doesn't load, so the web view doesn't load. So but if there is internet connection, the web view loads. So this, so we are going to remove this. We are going to just pull this part. Yeah, we're going to take this part off. Yeah, we're going to take this part off also. So we're taking it off. Yeah, so we need to check for internet connection here. So we need to check for internet connection. So yeah, we need to check for internet connection after 200 milliseconds. To check for internet connection using the method get method, and then we are going to use Google also. HTTPS google.com. So basically we are using Google because is Google it hardly have that downtime, and it's just better to use Google to check for your internet connection and stuff. So we are going to use it. So we are going to go to the component. I'm going to go to the component, then on response and on error response. So we're going to go on response. That is when there is internet connection. Then we are going to show. We are going to switch to the next screen, to our main screen. So basically that is it. Yes, so we're going to save it. And then on error response also. So when there is an error, we're going to show uh, I'm just going to toss a message, no internet connection. Detected. So basically, that is it, guys. So you can show the error message from the internet connection error. So let's make this just Facebook. So it differentiates our the internet the let's just make it Facebook so that we don't have to URL, so it doesn't get you confused about the URL we are using, the links we are using. So you can actually use any link of your choice. So let's save this and let's run. So I have internet connection, so it loads to the next screen and then it loads Facebook. So if let me switch off my internet, this switch off my internet connection. So I have internet connection again, and now let me try without internet connection. Hello guys, welcome back to this video course. So today I'm going to show you how to enable login authentication using Google Firebase. So basically in this course what we are going to be doing is to create our login authentication UI. So we are going to design the different pages for our login registration, for our registration app. So basically what we are trying to achieve is to enable login for users to actually register in your application and then to be able to sign into your application, just for in case you are creating a chat application or an application that just requires login authentication and stuff like that. So basically this video is what we are going to be doing. I'm just going to, for this part of the video, the first part of login authentication video, we are going to just create the UI. You can skip this part if you don't want, but it's just basically what we are trying to do right now is just to create the basic dummy UI. Is I want everything to actually be in the course, so you actually see how we are actually doing everything and you follow. There's no hidden stuff, so everything is actually done using Sketchware. So we are just creating a dummy UI with just blue colors and white, just blue color and white. So it's actually very easy, creating UIs with Sketchware, because if you were to do it on Android Studio or you're actually programming this stuff, it will take much time and stuff. So if you are a pro developer, Sketchware can equally make your work very fast, because you can actually design with Sketchware and export it to Android Studio. Yeah. So now we're going to add the text. So we are just going to design the registration page, after which we are going to copy it and we are going to use it on our login page and reset passwords page. Well, I don't want this video to be very long, so we are going to, that is why I decided to cut it. So to cut it into different sections. So we are going to add these test views that will hold our username, email, phone number, and password. So let's say 40. And so we have to set that so that the text will be central. Center vertically aligned. So actually using Sketchware to design is actually very easy. Sketchware has a lot of design options. You can actually use them the way you want. You can actually play with them and you'll be perfect with them. It's also good to actually know color combinations. When you use good color combination in your application, a lot of users will stick to your application. They will not easily uninstall your application than when you have too much color and your your tests are too big, or your buttons are too big. A lot of users will easily uninstall your application and stuff. So when you are designing an application, you should be mindful of the color combination, because it really affects users a lot. It really affects users, the level of interaction with your application. Yeah. So basically we are going to add two buttons, one for login and the other for registration, to move to the next page for login. And the first button is going to be for to authenticate registration, and the second button is going to be for to move to the next page. So in the subsequent classes, or subsequent in the next video, the next two video, we are going to actually link our application to database online. That is to Firebase database online. It's actually very easy and stuff like that. So I'm going to do this. Page start. So after a user has actually inputted all his details, when he clicks on the button, he should register them and redirect them to the login page. So that is what we are trying to achieve here. 200 p. Yeah. Okay. So this button is basically to redirect users to the login page if they are already registered. Set this white, set the background color to red. So yeah, exit. Remember, it's good practice to always use the same button height and button text size on all your buttons in your application, so that you don't have buttons that are bigger than the other. It's good for everything to be uniform stuff. So this video is becoming too long, so we are going to cut it and continue the design in the next video, so that we don't get bored too much. Yeah, so I'm going to it's actually very easy to create Android application using Sketchware. All you have to do is you have to practice more often, and with time you perfect it. So the more practice, the more you perfect it. Password. You can make Sketchware a hobby. So whenever you are free, you can just create Android applications and publish on Play Store, and then you can actually earn money from them. So we are going to save our widgets, everything in this page, because we are saving the base layout. So whenever we save the base layout, it gets saved with all other widgets added on it. So that is what we just did. So we are going to pull out the ones we are not needed, but this video is becoming too long, so I'm going to cut it from here. We'll continue in the next video. Thank you. Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video course, we are going to continue from where we stopped from our login UI design. So we already created the login page and we've already saved it. So we are going to copy it now to the login page like we just did. So we are going to edit some stuff on the login page. So basically we have already created the login page, so it's not going to be tough anymore. So we are just going to we are just editing the button text and stuff. So it's actually very to dice it. So now we have to actually add another button that will enable users. We are going to add another button or a clickable text view that will enable users to actually reset their password if they have forgotten their password. So when you actually enable login authentication using Firebase, you can actually ask users to request password, and Firebase will automatically send a link for users to actually change their password to their email, to the user email. So basically that is it for the login page. So we are going to design the reset password now. So like we did before, we are just going to copy it and remove what we don't need. Like we don't need this. We only need users to actually input their email here. So basically what we need here is email. So when a user actually inputs his email, and then you should click on the button that says reset. So the reset password link will be sent to their email if that email is available on the database. So it's actually very easy to do and very easy to authenticate. So when the user actually enters his email and then click the reset, a link should be sent. So basically that is it. We have all our pages running now. So hello guys, welcome back to this video course. So in this course we are going to integrate Firebase to our app. We already have our UI ready. So in this video now we are going to actually link our app to Firebase, to Google Firebase Online. So now we need to activate the Google Firebase by registering for Google Firebase account, and then we need to get the details. So it's very easy. Just search for Firebase on Play Store. Then you will see the first link here. You should this is not the. I think this is documentation. Then you just click the one that has coso.firebase.google.com. So now we need to add our project. So we just click and create a new project, call it login. Okay. And then we need to click continue. Then we need to select default account. Default Firebase account. Then we need to create a project. So we need to actually create a project that will link to our main project. So whatever the data we are actually passing here, or whatever user input we are actually getting from our application, will be specific for this project we are actually creating on the Firebase cursor. So our app project is ready. So we need to actually click on now we need to add authentication. We need to set authentication. Okay. No, first of all, we need to click on the Android icon to add an Android application. So now we need to get our package name. So we have com.my.demo. Yeah. So we need to click register. So we just need to skip a step here. Just click on the numbers. So we just need to skip this also. Then skip also. Now our Android project is actually ready on the Firebase, so we need to enable authentication also. So click on authentication. Click on authentication. Now we need to set up our authentication. So to set it up, set up sign-in method. So we need to enable email password, enable, then email, and save. Then we need to enable anonymous sign up and then save. So basically that is all for our login authentication. So now we need to get the data of this. We need to get the data and link it to our Android application. So click on project settings. So it's actually very easy. I'm kind of having a slow network here. So we need, first of all, what we need right now is our project ID. Let's go back to the project and see what we need to authenticate this. Go back to the library and then, okay, we need project ID. And then this is our project ID. We need to copy it and then we need to paste it. Paste that here. Then we need to get the app ID. Okay, here it is. To copy that, then we need to paste it here. And now we need to get the API, the web API key, and then we need to copy this, and then we need to paste it here. We need to paste that here, and then that is it for here. So we need to, let's go to the next step. Now we need to get a bucket URL, but bucket URL is basically not very necessary. We only need it when we're actually reading from our database or actually writing from our database, but it's actually very non-necessary since because we are actually doing only login authentication for this application. But let's try to add it also. So we click on database. I'm kind of having a slow network. I think kind of having a slow internet connection here. But I think okay, I think we are going to skip this for now because we don't really need it, but we are going to add it later and save it. Our project will still run very well. Then to use Firebase library, we equally need to enable app compat activity also. Library, sorry, also. So basically that is it. So let's go ahead with our app logic and then enable the signing and to enable the authentication to actually work in our Android application. Because in the previous lessons, in the previous videos on on file-based authentication, we actually did more on the UI. So this is just a UI with no logic. So for the register page, we actually have four text input and a register button, and the major input we're actually very concerned about is the email and the password. Is the email and the password, because basically that is what we need to actually authenticate user signing. Yeah. So we are actually going to use this block here. That's on button clicked. So basically what we are trying to do, right, what we are going to do here is when user actually clicks the register button, then it actually gets the input, the user input from the user input on the email, and also the user input on the password. So when a user enters the email and the password, then it automatically pushes it to the database and actually add the email as a user alongside with the password. So basically what we are very much interested on this register screen is just the email and the user. We can actually use the rest data when we are actually working on projects where we are actually saving a username, or a user is actually creating a profile and stuff like that. But basically for this course, what we are so much concerned about is actually the basic part of the login authentication. So we are actually going to add this on. So when a user when a user sign up is actually is successful. So we are actually going to toss a message that says sign up successful, and we are also going to re- set our login screen so that the user can actually log into their account, can actually log into the app. So now we're going to delete. So we are taking the user back to the login page so the user can actually log in with their email and the password they actually inputted on the register page. So basically that is it for the register page. So now we're going to actually authenticate. We are actually going to check when a user actually inputs his data on the login page to check if the data is actually available on our database also. So we're going to also add this. So basically what we are trying to do right here is when a user actually inputs his email and password also, it should check if the email and the password is already existing on the database. So we have the edit test for the email, the edit test 5, and the edit test for the password, which is edit test 7. So basically that is it. So but if a user sign up and is actually successful, nothing happens, but then we need to sign this. We need to actually add this also. So you are going to toss a message when the sign in successful. On signing successful, you are going to toss a message that say login successful. Sorry, I mean on signing successful. Signing successful. We're actually going to toss a message that say login successful, and then we are going to now, guys, we are going to use this logic, a little bit logic. So basically what we are trying to do is we are using an if else statement to actually check if the details the user actually input is actually correct, or is if it's available on the if the email is available and the password is also correct, then it should say login successful. As if the email is not correct or the password is not correct also, it should toss the error message automatically generated by the system by Firebase. Yeah, which could be password error or email not found or user not found. Sorry. Yeah. So basically that is it for here. So we are going to go. So we are also going to do this here. So we are going to check if the user sign up is successful also. Then if it's not successful, if user sign up is successful, then it should say toss a message that say sign up successful. Then also redirect the user to the login page. And if it's not successful, it toss a message also, an error message, sorry, also. So we are actually going to authenticate our reset password. So we are going to also add a Firebase authentication. So we have edit test 5. So on this button clicked, we are going to use the send a link to the email the user actually provide. If the email is available on our user, the Firebase will automatically send a message to the user email to reset their password also. Authentication. So we're going to use a test view. We're going to get a test view. Edit test 5. Yeah. So basically what this does is that when the user so basically that we are almost done with it. So we need to actually enable these buttons also. So you need to set a screen here, and then we need to set flag to clear top. Then we need to set login. Yeah, login. So on the register page, if the user is already a member, then he can click the login page to just go and log in instead. Then we are also going to do the same on the login page. So if the user is not yet a member, is going to we are going to, when the user click on the button, it takes the user to the register page, register activity rather. Select up. So we are going to also we are going to also load a screen here to, so when the user actually click on forgot password, then it will also redirect the user to the reset password page also. Finish activity. We'll reset activity. Yeah. So basically that is it. We are almost done here. So right now we are also going to set an intent. Reset password activity also. Okay, reset at password activity also. We actually didn't work on the logic. So we're going to also use if set statement. If successful, then it should toss. Then it should toss a message and also redirect user. Please check your. So when if the reset password is actually successful, then it will toss a message. Then if it's not successful, then it will say we will password reset not successful. We just toss a simple message that says password reset not successful stuff. So basically that is it, guys. So we need to check some other stuffs to make sure. Also we need to load the next screen here also. So we need to redirect users, because initially we actually finished the activity when we actually click the request password text. So we also need to redirect the user to the login activity. So after the user actually checks their email and then reset their password, they can actually come back to log in. Then also on button to click, assuming the user is not yet a registered member. So we can actually take them to the registration page. Register. So okay, sorry, login page. Sorry. Yeah. So basically this home activity, we need to actually set something here so that when the user actually log in successful, it's going to load this screen here. It's going to load this extra home screen. So we're going to just show a little message, something with like welcome stuff. Just welcome. So when the user actually log in successful, it's going to toss a message that says welcome. And also we are actually going to check if user is signed in. If user is signed in, well, what this does is that if the activity actually loads and the user is not signed in, it will automatically force the user to go to the registration page, or rather the login page, and then therefore going to the registration page to sign up. That is, if the user is not actually signed in to our Android application. So we are going to use intent here. So basically what you are doing here is, if the user is, we are using the if statement to actually check if the user is signed in, then it should do nothing. That means the user stays on this screen, on this activity rather. But if the user is not signed in, it will redirect the user to the login page. And then we're going to actually add the button just in case if the user wants to sign out. So on this button click, the user can actually sign out of the application. So we are almost done now. Hello guys, welcome back. So in our previous video, we actually have some bugs on our login authentication app, like the text is actually white. So we actually have to just change that. So we need to actually edit the edit text and change the color, because we actually duplicated this text, so it's actually going to have the same color. So we are actually going to change them. Change the text color to black. Yeah. So we are going to also edit this here also and change the text colors. The input text colors to black. So we are actually going to edit them. It's actually a little bug. Actually, I will need to fix it also. So, so basically, okay, we need to also edit the reset password page and edit this also because it is also, is also having the white text. So basically that's it. Let's test our project now and see if everything is working perfectly. So, so let's install this and so here. So basically let me try to actually log in to see if it will work. To log in or if it will tell us an error message. See 1, 2, 3, then log in. Then it tells a message there is no user because the email is actually not on the database. So we need to actually sign up. It's name email. So let's see at example.com. Now we need to actually put a phone number. So I'm going to just use some random number. I'm going to use some random number. Okay. Then password. I'm just going to use a simple password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let's register. So it was a message that sign up was successful. So let's go ahead and log into our app at example.com. So on the login clicked and login was successful, it actually brought us back to the on the registration successful, sorry, it actually brought us back to the login page. So we actually successfully logged in. After registration we logged in. So that is working perfectly. Now let's check the sign out button. Oh, the sign out button is not actually working. So I think we didn't actually do any algorithm on the button also. So yeah, here it is. It's actually empty. So we need to use the Firebase sign out block. So basically this is it. This is all we need to sign out. Then we need to actually go back to a page after sign out. So we need to start the login page. So we're going back to the login activity. Content. So basically that is it for the bug. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go back and actually check our Firebase. Let's check if we can get the bucket URL now, which is actually very not necessary because we were actually able to log in and to register in our Android application and also to successfully log in without the bucket URL. Bucket URL is only very necessary when you are actually uploading a file to database. You actually need the URL of the Firebase storage. Yeah. So we need to actually add a real-time database, sorry. So basically this is it. So here is the link at the top of the table page. Yeah. So basically this is the link. So we need to just copy this and paste it right there. So how do you copy this? Okay. So we need to paste it here. So that is it. So we need to save this. So after this, everything should be working perfectly up now without bugs. So our application does not have bugs now. We actually fix our bugs now. So basically that is it for the section of the course and the rest. So after this, after the next video, we are actually moving to our project to actually create our real projects. After the next video, which is actually the AdMob integration. So we are actually moving to the next project. So on sign out clicked, it actually redirected us back to the login page, which is actually the bug we actually had. The sign out was not actually working, so it's now fixed. So basically that is it, guys. See you guys in the next video. And please guys, don't forget to actually read this. Welcome back, guys. So in this video course, I'm going to show you how to monetize your Android application with Google AdMob. So to monetize your Android application with Google AdMob is very easy on using Sketchware. All you have to do is you have to sign up for Google AdMob on AdMob. So you have to visit, just search Google AdMob on Google, and then you will see the link to register for Google AdMob. So you can monetize your Android applications and actually earn from them. So in this course, I'm going to show you how to implement AdMob interstitial ads and AdMob banner ad. So it's very easy. I'm just going to design our UI, and then I'll show you the logic part. So let's go ahead and do that. And one more thing, if you create an Android application and you have low installs, and it's good to leave your ads as interstitial ads, because when you have low installs and you have a lot of banner ads does not really has high click rates, and secondly it has low impression CPM, yeah, cost per million. So if you have low installs, it's better you use only interstitial ads, because interstitial ad has the highest CPM and the highest cost per click. So I'm going to add the AdMob library. It's very easy. So after you've registered for AdMob and then you already have your AdMob ad code, so we are going to get some from here now. Yeah, so this is a new AdMob account I created. So we have to add new app. So yeah. So now we have to choose one. We are going to add interstitial ad and AdMob ad, and banner ad. Yeah. So we have to create the ad unit for interstitial ad and banner ad, so we can actually implement it in our app. So it's better we leave the settings as default, the ad settings as default. So we are going to copy this right here, and this is just what we need. And this is ad unit code. So we are going to copy it, and then we're going to paste it here, right here. Then we're going to get banner. Yeah. Then we're going to copy the interstitial ad. We are going to add another ad unit, interstitial ad unit. Yeah. So we're going to copy the ad unit also. Here, and that is it. We are done here. So we are going to add it here. And okay, so we're going to add it here. We are going to click next, and then we are going to set the ad for each ad unit. Yeah, and that's it. And we're going to go next. Now here you can add your device. So you just click the add button, and then it will automatically add your device ID. So it's advised you do this so that Google don't terminate your AdMob account for self-click or you are for illegal impressions and stuff. So that is it. So we are going to go to, okay, yeah, we're going to add the banner widget. So it's very easy. So on the event on create, in the event on create, we are just going to add the show ad. Yeah. So that is it. We have successfully implemented banner ad. It's as simple as that. So now we're going to add the AdMob ad for interstitial ad. So we are going to add the component. It's called the AdMob. Yes. Then we're going to add the on button clicked event. So this is what happens when the button is clicked. So when the button click, it pops up AdMob interstitial ad. So that is it. We have to create it and then load it. And then we're going to go to the component, and then the on add loaded is going to show ad. So we are going to add this component show ad. Yeah. So on add loaded is going to show ad. So basically that is it. It's very easy to implement. So let's save our project and run. So guys, it's really very easy to monetize your Android application, and it is very nice to actually monetize your Android applications. But the monetization shouldn't be too much, because when you use too many ads on your app, it drives a lot of users and people tend to install your apps. And also when the ads is too much, it might violate the Google policy, and then your AdMob account might be banned. So it's better you use proper AdMob implementation guides and stuff. So you can see right here our ads is showing, the banner ads is showing, yeah, and the interstitial ad is showing on button clicked, yeah, it's showing. So basically that is it for this course, guys. Thanks guys for enrolling for this course. So let's try and change the banner ad style. Let's make it a little bit bolder and see how it works. So there are other options you can equally try, bigger ads and stuff. You can. Hello guys, welcome to this course. So first of all, I want to thank you guys for actually enrolling for this course and staying for this course this long. So I do want to thank you guys, and I really appreciate it so much. Thanks for the support, and I hope you really learned something from this course So in this video, we are going to actually create our calculator, we're going to convert a website to Android application. So basically you can use this method to convert any website to Android application. Well, converting any website to Android application is actually something that is actually very, very high in demand, because a lot of people want to create an Android app for their website and stuff like that, and also to monetize their website. So you will definitely get a lot of clients or that want to convert their website to Android application on Fiverr also, and on Upwork. So it's actually very high demand skills for upcoming programmers. Easy to do projects and stuff. So in this video course, I'm going to teach you how to create that using Sketchware. So it's actually very easy. Let's dive right into it. So basically, for now, we are going to create our splash screen like we are doing here. It's actually very easy. The same method we actually used while we started this course, the same method we are actually using here. So we are just going to create a simple splash screen with the logo of the website and a little text. So we're going to set this vertical. So we are going to centralize this. Sorry, with the text name, with the website name. So like I said previously when we started this course, it's actually very good to use proper color combination on your Android application, and also good fonts and stuff, and probably text size. You should actually be mindful of your text size. You don't have some text bigger than the other and stuff. Just having too much different text size is actually not very good, and it's not actually very professional looking. It will make your app not professionally looking. and stuff. So I already have a color code I want to use for my art background, which is actually the color code with the same website. So we are actually having something like a dark purple here. Yeah. So that is it. So we're going to add the logo. I already designed a logo for this. I actually did the edited logo design. So I'm going to select it. So yeah, here it is. Try did a little logo design with logo pit also. So I'm going to set this to this image here. So I'm going to fit SY. And then I'm going to select this image and then I'm going to give it a width and height. I'm going to give it a width and height. So let's say 100 by 100. Okay, I think it's actually very cool. I'm going to give this a margin top so that it will have a little space up. Yeah, so it's actually very cool this way. So we are going to add a progress bar here. So try send this center, and then I'm going to remove padding for this progress bar. I'm going to give it a width of 25 and a height of 25 also. That's really very small. So now we have this, so we are going to create the logic. I'm going to add an intent I, and then we're going to add a timer, a shared preference, sorry, also. So timer, yeah. We're going to add a timer T, and then network request because these are a website application, so we need to check if there is internet connection before the main web view application, the main web view page can actually load, before the our app can actually load our web view. If there is no internet connection, it's going to show an error. Okay, so we need to set our need to give our splash screen a little styling by delaying the progress bar by 2000 milliseconds. Then we're going to set the progress bar visible after 2000 milliseconds. So also we are going to check for network, for internet connection also after some time, after 2000. So after 2500 milliseconds, we are going to check if there is internet connection. So we are going to use this to ping. We already did this in the previous lessons, in the previous videos. So we are going to use Google to check this. Google.com. We're going to check for a tag A. So basically that is it. Then we're going to check on response. So we're going to show you the on response and on error. So if there is, what this does, this on response is if there is internet connection enabled, then it's going to do this. We are going to load the main screen with our web view. So we're going to set this also, set this clear top. I'm going to set to home activity, set the home activity, and so we're going to create a dialog. So we are going to use this dialog to check. We already did almost everything. We will actually use almost all of these features on the previous videos, so we are actually bringing all of them in use in a real project here also, like we did in the previous project. So we're going to use a dialog to actually show a dialog message when there is no internet connection on error response. Yeah. So we are going to set a message. We're going to set that to no internet connection detected. The internet connection. Yeah. The internet connection. Then we're going to set a message. Please make sure internet connection. Make sure you have a working internet connection. Okay. So that is it. So we are going to on OK button click. It's going to do a try. So on cancel button click is going to just exit the app. We're going to have two buttons, retry and exit. So on exit clicked. So on exit click, it just finish the activity and then the app closes. But on retry clicked, on retry clicked is going to restart this activity and then check for the internet connection again. So on retry clicked is going to restart the activity, the main activity, and then check for the internet connection again. So if there is no internet connection again, it's going to toss to message retry and exit also. So if the user decide to keep trying, then it's going to keep popping the exit and the retry also. That is when there is no internet connection. But when there is internet connection, it's going to go direct to the main page and load our website. Yeah. So we are going to be having 3 linear and the base linear, and we're going to set the base linear at 0. So we're going to give this a width of 1. So this is the main linear that will contain our web view. So basically we're just going to do some little design, here. So here we are going to place our progress bar. So when a link is clicked, it actually shows the progress bar. So we're going to give it a padding of 0. Then we're going to make this progress bar really small, 20 by 20 or so. So it's really small. Then we have to centralize this, place it to the center. So we're going to add our web view here. So on create, we are going to load. So we have our web view. So on create on our web view. So on create, we are going to load a URL on the web view. So we are going to load the website, which is https just www.cryptofsboost. Yeah, www.cryptofsboost. And also, guys, it's very necessary to actually include the HTTPS or the HTTP if your website doesn't have secured connection and stuff, certificate and stuff. So you have to actually add that, or else if you just go direct and add www.cryptofsboost, then we are going to have an error. So it's very necessary you actually add the HTTPS or the HTTP that along with your website also. So we are going to add some buttons here. So we are going to design this, and then we are also going to duplicate it. It's pretty good. So we are going to add an image. We're going to add an image in this. Yeah. I'm going to resize this image to width 25 and height 25. Also height 25. Also, then we're going to add a text. Going to set the orientation to vertical. So the image is at the top. It's supposed to be at the bottom. Okay, perfect. So we're going to centralize everything here. We're going to set the scale type to fit SY. Yeah. So basically, I think it's actually cool this way. So we are going to save this, and then we are going to duplicate it and use it. Button home. Going to duplicate it. So to make our work much faster, we just have to just duplicate this. Also, we are going to give this a margin. I'm going to give this a margin so that it actually has some spacing. Yeah, pretty cool. So we're going to give this. So we are going to actually load the progress bar on page started. So on page started, we are going to set the progress bar here. We are going to set it to visible because then we also need to set the progress bar to invisible on page finished. So what this does is that on page started, that if the link is loading or the web view is actually loading a link, then it will set the progress bar visible. Then if the web view is actually not loading a link or is dormant, the user is scrolling through it, it's actually going to set the progress bar invisible. So it's actually kind of way to actually indicate to tell the user that their page is loading, to make them know that their page, the link they click is actually loading. So we are going to set the base background color of this. Okay, we're going to set it to the dark purple. Oh man. So we are going to add some icon for our bottom bar color, yeah. For home, yeah. So we're going to add a home. So we're going to add another one. So we are looking for proper logo that will actually fit into our project, like a free logo. Well guys, you can actually use all of this logo which is available in Sketchware. You can actually use it crediting without any crediting and stuff. Is a free logo available, so we're going to use this also. We're going to use that we are going to use that for contact or stuff or mail or stuff. We're going to use this for account so that users can actually access the account. So we're going to say this home. Yeah. We're going to say this get the text home. It's actually looking a little bit awkward because the color is actually not looking very differentiated. Users may not know that it's actually not very looking very differentiated. So users might not know there is actually a button there or stuff or something they can even be clicked, or users might be confused. So we are going to filter the icon we are using there to a better color, or another color to the color of the to a color that we actually fit in. So this account, we are going to use this as about. Yeah, we are going to set the background color also to white. Don't worry guys, we are going to use an image filter block to actually change the color of these images. So this is it. We are going to set color filter for these images from white to a custom color. So we are going to select image view 1, image view 2, image view 3, which are the image views that are actually holding our icons, sorry. Yeah, so basically that is it. If you run this app, it's going to have a dark purple. The icons are also going to have a dark purple color. So on linear 6 clicked, it's going to load a URL. So it's going to load a URL. Like I said, don't like I said before, don't forget to actually add your HTTPS or HTTP, anyone else the site you are working on actually have. If you don't add this, your web view application will crash. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to also set on click event here. So on click, we are equally going to load another URL on the web view if that button is clicked. So we are almost done with this project. It's actually very easy. So we're going to set contact. So actually there is a page on the website that has this URL. As a matter of fact, the contact page actually have this URL, and also we are equally going to set the about. Going to paste this, and then I'm going to add the about us. Yeah, there's a page on the website also that has this about us. So basically that is it guys. We are almost done. So I don't think there's anything we actually missed. So let's save this and run. Let's run. Okay, first let's actually edit our project logo. We're actually going to use this image also. Then we are going to set the color, the primary color, that is the status bar color also. And we are going to set the color settings, the project color settings also. Set this to white. Color accent, we can set this to white. I'm going to select color primary. Well, that is not actually needed, but let's just put as anything highlights. So white, see white. So we are done. Let's save this project and let's run it and see how it will actually look. So it's installed. So it's actually looking a little bit classy, but let's see if it works properly. So I have an internet connection, so it's working. So like I said, the color filter actually set the image filter actually set the color of the icon. So this is actually a website that we actually loaded on the app. That is the website link we actually entered. So we are going to test this. So we are going to test this. So now we're going to test this application without. So here we go, without internet connection. So we have no internet connection, but since we actually use a wrong color for the for the our in our project setting, we need to set the color of the button, which is actually part of the project. I think that would be color. Yeah, I think that would be color accent. Going to be color accent, color control. Let's try this also. So let's try color control. Oh. So let's try and see which of these actually has this color. So it's definitely not color control. So we're going to go back and set others. So we are going to check color control highlights. So we're going to set color control accent. Let's try this also. Save. Let's try it. Well, I think it's going to work now because it's color control accent definitely. So we have no, okay, definitely that is it. So no internet connection, and then it's actually detected it. Then we hello guys, welcome to this section of our video course. So in this section we are going to create a calculator app using Sketchware. So creating a calculator app using Sketchware is very easy, and shouldn't take much time. So for this video, we are actually going to be creating the calculator UI. So we will create the UI. So after this course, I'll provide link to these projects that we actually created in this course, because this is one of the projects we are creating in this course, and we are also creating another project after this, which is the website to app conversion application. Yeah. So we are just going to go ahead and design our app user interface. So we are just going to design that in this video. So in the next video, we are actually going to work on the logic, and then probably fix bugs if you have any. So we are just going to create the UI. It's actually very easy. Like I said, you can always see, you can always play with these Sketchware functions or Sketchware design options to actually make your app, to design your app the way you want, and it's actually very easy to do that using Sketchware. Just some drag and drop, and then editing their features or their design and stuff. So we are just going to create a simple calculator UI user interface. It's just some little. It's going to, our calculator project will also be able to do simple arithmetic operations like additions, subtractions, multiplications, and division, and find the module of numbers of a number. Yeah. So we're just going to we are actually trying to design the way we are going to arrange the text, the buttons of our app. So we need a lot of linear to do this, because we really want it to look like real calculator app. And don't forget, guys, we have a developer community for you. So if you want to join our Sketchware developer community, you can always send an email to me, then I'll get you added to the group, to the developer group, to our Sketchware developer group. So it's actually very important to be part of the Sketchware developer group, because you you be able to actually, you have people to actually help you fix your bugs if you find it difficult to actually do so, to fix it yourself. So yes, you find people to actually help you fix your bugs. Me. So we're just going to Sorry about that. We're actually going to something else here. And yeah, height 90. So we're going to have a button that will contain our arithmetics here. Help addition. So we're going to give it a width of 1. So that we can actually have some buttons that are actually properly aligned with the same. So at the end of this course, you are going to have access to this project, so you can actually manipulate it, design it the way you want, and probably change the color, change the design arrangement and stuff. So we are actually including this part of the video so that you don't get confused about how we come up with the design and stuff. So we are almost done with this design. So after we actually add the buttons, we are actually going to edit them also to change the color and probably change the text. Now we are going to add buttons here also. Going to give it a width of 1, and we actually going to give, okay, we don't want it to actually be the same, so we are going to give this separate width. No, 2. Yeah, going to give it a 2 width of 2 to 1. So that means the let's make it 3 instead. Okay, so we have something like this. Have to centralize it also. And this also, and then this also. So we almost have our calculator UI ready. Just that we haven't added text yet. So we have to centralize all these buttons so it doesn't make our app look bad. So yeah, we are almost done. So we're going to edit these buttons. We're going to add plus. Oh no, yeah, plus, and then we are going to give the text size. Going to give it a background color of blue. Yeah. So we are going to do the same thing here for all the buttons. We're going to edit them and actually add some design to it. Uh, yeah, we actually have to fix this. We'll do that after this. Multiplication. So basically, like we are creating a very simple Android application, calculator application. Basically, it does just simple arithmetic operations and stuff. So it's not really going to be very complex. So we usually have this here. Give this blue. Then we're going to also do this for the next button. Then we're going to do this for all the buttons. So we have a good looking UI, but still very simple UI. Let's color white. Then we have background color blue. So we are going to add, let's think of integration to add here. So we're going to add cancel. So we're going to make this a different color. Sorry, we need to edit the margin instead. Yeah. So we have to equally edit this and then change the text to numbers. So basically it's very easy. So if you feel you can actually do this, or if you feel it's time wasting, you can equally skip this part of the lesson to the next part where we are actually going to be working on the logic. do this. We are almost done. We're going to do this for the rest text, and then we are almost done here. So basically that's it for this row. Mention for okay, that's perfect. I'm going to edit this row also and 4. I'm going to use the test size of 20 and the test style, test color, test background color, the blue. So guys, there are also lots of ways you can actually make money from your Android applications. You can create Android application with Sketchware, then export the files to then export the files and sell it on CodeKeyon. That is another way you can make money. I have a lot of my projects on sale on CodeKeyon. You can check some of them out. Like I have my lineup 11 Android app on CodeKeyon, which is actually on sale, which is also created using Sketchware. But after creating with Sketchware, if you can equally export your Android project or your app to Android Studio and continue working on it on Android Studio or on IDE or whatever IDE you want to use. You can equally export it and continue working on it there. So we are almost done. Not on the last number. So like it. So we need to change this text size to 20 here. We need to give it imagine 4 left, 4 right. Let's have a imagine 4. So we almost have our calculator UI. It's cool. 20 dp bold color white. Then we're going to have the color blue. And then we're going to edit the last button here. Which is this. This equals to complete our results. Then we have bold. We need to set the color white and then the background color blue. Red, sorry. We need to set the background color red. Yeah. So basically that is it for the UI. So this is for the UI. Okay, this is perfect. So guys, this project will be available after this course, and you can download it and export it and import it to your Sketchware and edit it the way you want. Hello guys, so in this video we are actually going to work on the logic part of our calculator project, so we can actually make our calculator project do mathematical operation. So in the last video we actually designed the UI, which is this we are seeing on the screen. So in this video we are just going to work on the back end, like we are going to work on the logic, so that when we actually click a number to do mathematical operations, our calculator can actually work. So let's get started. So first of all, we're actually going to add a test view for on our calculator screen. So we're going to add two test view, one for inputting a number when clicked. So the second test view, which is this test view, we actually print out the results of our calculations. So we have two test view. So let's get started. So to do this, we'll be needing shared preference, because we need to save our data. A test imputed, we have to save it, so that when we actually add print a logic, or sorry, a mathematical operation, it will actually get well, I don't know how to explain this right now, but we actually have to like save a mathematical operation. For example, when we actually input a number, let's say 2, then we have another number which is, and then we have the mathematical operation, let's say plus, which is actually saved in the shared preference. So when we actually input one, it gets printed on the test view 1, on the test view 2, sorry. Then when we actually click a mathematical operation, it gets saved. Then when we actually click another number, the initial number and the mathematical operation, it just solves the mathematics and stuff like that. So meanwhile, let's just go ahead and create this. You understand better why we are actually creating this. So basically, it's a simple logic we are actually trying to implement here. So we have a number. When a number clicked, it gets saved in the first test view. So when we actually click a mathematical operation, the mathematical operation actually gets saved also, but it doesn't get saved on the screen now. It gets saved on the shared preference. So you don't see the mathematical operation when you actually click on it, but it will get saved. Then when you click a number and then click a mathematical operation and then click another number, and then the calculation will be done, and it will be printed on the test view 1. So basically that is what we are trying to achieve right here. Well, it's basically a simple logic for basic mathematics. So we have two test view 1 and test view 2. So when the cancel clicked, it set the test view 1 and test view 2 to 0 to nothing. Yeah. So also we are going to set test view 1. And when button 1 clicked, okay, let's give this an ID first of all, so we don't mix them up, or we don't have to keep looking for the button on the so let's give it an ID to actually differentiate it to easily differentiate it. So we have this. I'm going to give this an ID, so button 3. To also give this an ID, button 4. So we can easily identify this button because we have a lot of button here, so we can easily identify them. That way to make the work a bit faster. Then button 7. And button 9. Finally, button 9. Okay, button. Okay, so that's it. So you can easily on button click test view 2, set test 1. Yeah, so when the button gets clicked, the initial test view okay, so let's change this to test view 1, so the results actually get imputed. So we are going to do a little mathematical operation here, that a little logic here that we are actually going to duplicate and use for the rest of the button also. So we are going to add number test view to gets test, set test, going to join some number here to string. So guys, we are going to add the two number. So So we're going to add the initial number plus this plus number one when the shed when the arithmetic operation is one is sorry if the arithmetic operation is plus, then we are going to get the initial test plus the plus but. Yeah. Yes. So when the okay, we are going to duplicate this right now. I'm just going to duplicate this, copy. So basically what we actually did here is when a number is clicked or number one is clicked, it gets the initial number which is in the edit test one and then then it will add it together to the number in edit test 2. Sorry, test view 2 rather. It will get added with the number in test view 1. So we're going to also repeat this for the rest. As in, we're going to do this for division and module also. So we are going to copy this also because we have another operation we also need to take care of. Yeah, multiplication also. So we have to also repeat this for multiplication. We have to take this off to get the multiplication. Need to add this number, this number. Take this. Then we have one more operation to handle also. This. Okay. So basically that's almost it. So we're just going to copy this and use it. So basically that is it. We are going to copy this, save this, and then we are going to save this and then use it in the rest of our buttons and the rest of our number buttons also. We're going to do same for 2. We're going to call it 2. I'm going to do the same for 3. But guys, at the end of this, if we have any bug, we'll fix it. I'll continue fixing it. So to be an Android developer, you need to fix a lot of bugs and keep fixing bugs, because the more people use your app, the more likely you are going to get bugs, and keep fixing it. And also bugs helps us improve our apps and stuff. So by the time you keep fixing bugs, you actually improving your app also. Do this also. To do it for the last, which is 0. So we're almost done here. So we're going to set this and do a little logic here. Text, we set text. So destroy, we need to clear the shared preference data. We need to remove the shared preference data on destroy so that it doesn't get called when we start our application again. So let's check our Android application and see if it works. Okay. Gosh. It seems we have a lot of bugs and it's not working properly here. Oh no. Okay, we need to fix some bugs. It's really not working properly, so we need to actually go back and fix a lot of bugs in this calculator. So we need to, seems our logic is not correct. So we are going to edit this. Okay, so we are going to edit the logic for the minus I'm going to change this and see if it works, because it seems we had an issue with the subtraction logic. Let's try it this way and see if it works properly. So we are going to also set this, and we are going to set this also. We are going to edit it for all the numbers. So basically guys, it's now let's save our app and let's run it. See if the subtraction works properly. Oh man, seems we need to exit it and try it again, because the shared reference still worked. So minus, still got some bugs also. I will need to fix this box. We are going to fix it. We are definitely going to fix it. Let's check where this bug is coming from. I think we have two stuff. So let's try and remove key here. Let's see if it works. So we are trying to remove key, the shared preference key, and empty it so that when it doesn't get calculations done. We are still having some bugs. We are still having some bugs and we're going to fix it. We are going to take all the time and fix these bugs. So I'm just going to study this now. So in our next video, we are going to fix all the bugs, and then at the end we actually had a crash. So we are going to fix all the bugs in our next video. Hello guys, welcome back. So in this video we are going to be fixing some the bugs in our Android app in the calculator project. So we actually have a little problem and we are going to fix it right now. So first of all, our logic is not working properly, or is not rather properly not set. So we are actually going to fix them, or we are going to change the logic entirely. So we are actually going to make this a little bit simple and quicker for us. So we're going to add this to collection so we can actually fix all bugs at once. So we're going to use more block, and then we're going to just call this on the button instead, so we don't have to actually edit it one after the other. We can actually edit everything at once. So if at the end of this video we still got some bugs, we are going to continue fixing it, and I will submit an update for you guys when all bugs is completely fixed. And then when you are actually using it, you can equally go ahead and use it. You can use it however you wish to use it. Use the project. You can use it anywhere. It doesn't have any privacy policy or stuffs like that. So paying for this course, you are equally paying for the project. So it's completely yours. So we are just going to drag this, and also we are going to put this here. So also I'm going to set this to 0 instead. So now on button 1 clicked, I'm going to set button 1. Then on close clicked, we got close saved already. So I'm basically trying to figure out how we so let's try this way. So we have this here. So I'm going to rearrange this, and then let's see if it works. Let's check this project. So we are going to start with 2 plus 2 remain plus 2. So I think we are actually having a little issue with the mathematical operation. So I'm going to do it to start here. And button 1 clicked. Hello guys, don't forget you can equally join our community, our Sketchware community, a community of Sketchware developers. You can join in and meet other Sketchware developers around the world. And to join you just have to send me an email and then I'll add you to the community. So we're going to duplicate this. So basically what we want to do right now is we want to actually check if a user hasn't actually imputed a test on the initial edit test 1, because when we're actually doing a mathematical operation we actually have a 0 on the test view. So when we're actually doing a mathematical operation that has to do with multiplication and then we get a number that multiplies with 0, then the value will definitely be 0 and then we will not be able to proceed with the mathematical operation. So we go ahead and check this. If the button is clicked, it checks if the test view 1 is 0. Then if test view 1 is 0, it will print the number we clicked on the test view. Test view 2 instead. If test view 2 is 0, it will print the number we clicked on the test view. So when we actually initiate a mathematical operation, then it gets saved. Then when the user clicks another number, it solves the mathematics and get the output on the test view 2. Yeah. So we are going to also do the we are doing this for all the buttons, and then after this we are equally going to test our application and see if we have any other bugs. And then if we have bugs, then we need to actually fix some stuff in the mathematical operation section. After this video, or after this course, I'm still going to improve this app, and I'll give you guys updates on it and stuff. So we're going to also do this here. Zero. Next is going to be 0 also. I'm going to try this. So let's run our app and see. So now let's do 1 plus 2. Oh, so we still got a little bug. Um, 1 plus 1, that worked. Cancel. 2 times 2, okay, that worked also. So let's try 3 times 3. Okay, that didn't work. 3, 2, times 2. Okay, we still got some bugs, and we are going to definitely fix it. I think we actually have issue with arithmetical operations. We got some issues here. So let's set this. So we actually have a little bug which I think we need to clear this app cache. Let's start 3 times so the initial test that is working. We are definitely going to fix this bug. We are definitely going to fix it. It's a little bug, but we just need to do. this. So let's go ahead and try this. Like I said, I'll continue working on this project and I'll submit updates on this project and I'll notify you guys on it. 3 3 Okay, so guys, I will work on this on the little box we are having in this application and I'll update it and I'll submit an update and I will notify you guys on this on the next updates on this application and I'll create a documentation on it. Thanks guys for watching.